Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swami Niti Namine Namaha Acharya Padaya Nitayati Pradayine Gaura Katha Dhamadaya Nagara Grama Tarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. We welcome again our YouTube live listeners, our listeners over Facebook Live, and our dear listeners over Zoom. Welcome to all of you. Hare Krishna. So today we are starting the Shri Purushottam Kshetra Parikrama. Thank you for joining, and thank you for the journey on the Navadvip Mandal Parikrama. Taking blessings from Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, we now venture on to Shri Purushottam Kshetra Parikrama Jagannath Puri Day 1. So, can we have the slide, please? Okay. It seems there is some trouble with the slides that they are having, but in the yeah, sure. Okay. Please take some time. Till then, we will just give a brief introduction to all of you that in this Puri Parikrama, what we are trying to do is that we want to give you a history. Today and tomorrow, we will be talking about the specialty of this Puri Kshetra, this Purushottam Kshetra, the specialty of this Dham. What is the uniqueness of this Dham? And also, how did, Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra, they are none other than Krishna, Balaram and their sister Subhadra. But, Krishna has two hands. He has, he's always like Murli Manohara. He's with two hands with a flute. He has his feet, lotus feet. So why is Jagannath having this kind of a form, with big eyes and, such a wonderful, pleasing smile? What is the uniqueness of Lord Jagannath? Why did Krishna appear in this most munificent form, in this most beautiful, and most amazing Ashcharya Rupa, as it is said, the most amazing of all forms? Why did Lord Jagannath appear? Why did Krishna, assume like this kind of form? So all of this we will try to understand before we actually start our parikrama of Sri Jagannath Puri Dham. And this Jagannath Puri Dham, since we are waiting on the slides, we can give you a little more preview that Navadvip Mandal, like anyone remembers, if anyone can unmute themselves, we can have a quick recap of Navadvip Mandal. So what is the shape of Sri Navadvip Dham? Can anyone please unmute and speak?
Lotus.
Lotus. Huh?
Lotus.
Lotus, yes. Thank you. Congratulations. You are very, very correct that the Navadvip Dham is in the shape of a lotus. How many petaled lotus?
8 petal lotus.
8.
8 petal lotus. Very good. 8 petal lotus. Any idea? Okay, can anyone tell us what is the name of the central island of Sri Navadvip Dham?
Antardweep.
Antardweep. Very good. Yes, it is Antardweep.
Why is everyone's volume so low? We're very barely able to hear everyone. I'm not sure if it's with our.
which is the island where Lord Jagannath resides in Navadvip? Which island?
Simantadweep.
Simantadweep. Very good. Simantadweep. Okay. Next we have the question that which island is Harihara Kshetra in?
Godrumadweep.
Godrumdweep. Good. Godrumdweep. Now next is which island do we have Madan Gopal residing?
Rudradweep.
Rudradweep. Very good. Very good. Which island is Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu situated in?
Koladweep.
Koladweep. Very, very good. Very
What
good.
is the meaning of Kola?
Lord
Kola means
Ball.
Four.
Yes,
Gold.
very, very good. Very, very wonderful. Okay, so which island was Sharanga Murari and his temple situated in? Sharanga Murari, where we saw the hollow tree, Bokul tree.
Rudradweep. Is it Rudradweep?
No,
Bakuldeep.
Rudradweep. Correct.
I'll take a quick break. I will make sure that the slides are working properly. Hold on just a second.
So Prabhu will be back, but we will continue with some more of our realizations. Can we, request some devotees till we have Prabhu and, the organizers work out the presentation? Can we please share some of our realizations of Navadvip Dham Parikrama? Can we share that, please? Any one of you would like to share? What was your experience of Navadvip Mandal Parikrama?
I like Nidaya Ghat.
Nidaya Ghat, you like that? Okay, thank you, Garima. You like Nidaya Ghat? Thank you.
Yes.
Okay,
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Yes.
So my favorite part was Rajput. I love seeing Rajput Jagannath. I think he looks really cute.
Okay, Rajapur Jagannath looks very, very cute. Okay, thank you. Good. Next, anyone else would like to share?
Hare Krishna Mataji. I liked the program very much. And the photos, especially which you, Prabhuji, and your mother, father were there, it was very personal and I liked it so much. Lastly,
Thank you so much for that sweet realization.
Mataji, I missed some classes. Where can I see all that?
Sorry?
I missed some classes, Mataji, but where can I see that which I missed?
Yes, you can go to the YouTube channel, which is in both our names, Prabhu's name and my name. We will ask the organizers to share it in the chat. So they will, put it in the chat box. It is our YouTube channel. You can go there under Navadvip Mandal Parikrama. There is a playlist and you can see all the videos there.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
And are you part of the WhatsApp groups?
No, I'm not. Prabhuji is there, I think. Prabhuji is there.
Okay.
Kalanidhi Prabhu is there.
I know who's speaking. I'm sorry, I don't see your name.
I'm Shama Vallabi Mataji, Kalanidhi Prabhu's
Oh,
wife.
Kalanidhi Prabhu. Yes, Sham Vallavi Mataji. Mataji, you can join the WhatsApp groups. That way you can even access the PPTs. We share it over there. So you can access a lot of material.
How to join the WhatsApp group, Mataji?
We will send the link in the chat. So you can join the WhatsApp group.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Thank you
Very
so much.
wonderful session.
Hare
Waiting
Krishna.
for that daily.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Anjudi. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Everything was so divine, but when the golden form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was, I don't know, it was so beautiful, so this, and especially when you used to tell that we have to meditate on Gauranga Mahaprabhu's face. I just could not take my eyes off that Divya Sarup. It was totally divine. And all the pastimes of Lord are always nectarian and so beautiful. Thank you for everything.
Jai, Jai. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Anjali. That's one of my favorite pictures, actually. That's why very selfishly we would put that picture every day, because that picture is very dear to both of us. So we love that picture a lot. So that's why we used to keep adding that picture, of Lord Chaitanya's moon-like face. So we
It
would do
was
that.
even I, like, I used to look at that picture and something in the eyes, like it used to just take you, and I could even meditate on looking at that face. It's
Exactly.
beautiful.
Exactly. Yes. So true. So true. So true. Okay, so I think we are good to go. So
Yes. Can we have the slides?
first slide, we thank everyone for your beautiful realizations. Thank you so much.
Okay, so this is, we start the Sri Purushottam Kshetra Parikrama. You can see on the left-hand side, there is all these different devotees who are performing the Parikrama. We're starting on the Puri Parikrama on the right-hand side, guided by Lord Chaitanya, with Puri temple on the background. You can see in the background of the picture of Lord Chaitanya, there is the Jagannath Puri temple. Shri
Jai.
Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki
Jai.
Jai. So next slide, please. As this is the Jagannath Puri Dham, the Puri temple, the Sudarshan. If we actually, it is said, if we have darshan of the Sudarshan, it is as good as having darshan of the Lord Himself. So here we start with the darshan of the Sudarshan chakra on the top of the brown Jagannath Puri temple, the dome at the top, and the beautiful moon and ocean in the background. Jai. Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki Jai. Next slide, please. So this Purushottam Kshetra is also called Shankha Kshetra. Shankha, because all the holy places, this Jagannath Puri is in the form of a Shankha. Just like Navadvip is in the form of a lotus, this is in the form of the Shankha, and therefore it's called conch shell. It's called the Shankha Kshetra. Jai.
Jai Jagannath Swami ki Jai.
Next slide, please.
So here we'll start with this beautiful pastime. One time Narada Muni, he came and started serving Lakshmi Devi. This is many, many celestial yugas before. So Narad Muni served Lakshmi Devi very, very ardently. And Lakshmi Devi was so pleased by the selfless service of Narad Muni. She said, "My dear Narada, my dear son, please tell me, what benediction can I give you? I am so pleased with your service." So then Narada said, "My dear mother, if you are pleased with me, please, please bless me with little bit of Mahaprasad from the leftovers of the plate of Lord Vishnu." And Lakshmi Devi said, "Hey Narada, my son, even I cannot get that. Narayan, Lord Vishnu's prasad, whatever is left over in his plate, even I am not allowed to take. Because anyone who takes Narayan's leftovers, his prasad, will become infected by Krishna Prem. So therefore, even I cannot take. So how can I give you?" So then Narada said, "No problem, mother. If you cannot give what I'm asking for, then I don't want anything. I will continue to serve you. I don't want anything." So Lakshmi Devi was very sad that day. In the afternoon, when she was serving Lord Narayan, Narayan noticed his wife is so sad. He said, "Hey Devi, why are you so sad?" And she said, "Oh, this Narada, he was serving me so nicely. And when I asked him what boon he wants, he said that he wants remnants from your plate. But what should I do? How can I give this to him?" So then Lord Vishnu, he smiled and he said, "Don't worry. You can give him little bit remnants, fulfill his desire. So then Lakshmi Devi, as soon as Lord Narayan finished his prasad, then Lakshmi Devi called Narada, come here, Narada, come. And she just took some remnants directly from the plate of Lord Narayan, and she put it in the hand of Narada. And receiving that Mahaprasad, Narada was in super ecstasy. He was so ecstatic that he started dancing like this, as you see in this picture. He started playing on his veena and he started dancing Radhika Raman, Radhika Raman, Radhika Raman, Radhika Raman. Dancing in this way. Can we have the next slide, please? Narada came to the first abode from Vaikuntha. He came to Kailash. And Kailash, when he came, Lord Shiva said, hey, Narada, today there is something different about you. You look very ecstatic. What is the matter? Then Narada explained that, I got this Mahaprasad from the plate of Lord Narayan. So then Lord Shiva got very angry. He said, oh, Narada, you got this special mercy, but you didn't give me. I am your friend and you didn't give me anything. I am very upset with you. So then Narada was feeling very guilty. He said, oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. I forgot. Look, Lord Shiva, look. There is one grain of rice that is stuck in my nail. So please, give your hand. Take it. So you see there in the picture above, Narada Muni is giving a small grain of rice to the hand of Lord Shiva. And what was the result of that? Can we have the next slide, please? The result is Lord Shiva started dancing in ecstasy. He started doing Tandav Nritya. He was so happy, so much in ecstasy. Seeing him in ecstasy, Parvati Devi, the good wife of Lord Shiva, she came out and said, hey Mahadev, Shiva Shambhu, why are you dancing like this? It is not yet time for Pralaya. Why are you dancing like this? And then Lord Shiva explained what happened. Narada was dancing on one side, Lord Shiva dancing on one side. So Parvati heard that Lord Shiva got the Mahaprasad. So then Parvati Devi said, hey Shiva Shambhu, I am your Ardhangini. I am your Sahadharmani. I am your better half. Where is my share? Why you didn't give me anything? So then Lord Shiva said, oh, my dear Katyayani, you, my dear Parvati, you are Mahamaya. Lord Shiva was joking with his wife. He said, you are Mahamaya. You make the living entities forget Krishna. You are the superintendent. You're the jailer of this material world. You do not qualify for this unique Mahaprasad of Lord Narayan. So hearing this, Parvati Devi was supremely offended. She was so offended and she said, how can you say like this? If you are Param Vaishnav, you are Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu, then I am also called as Param Vaishnavi. So if my devotion to Krishna is strong, then I am making this vow today that not only will I take Mahaprasad of Lord Vishnu, but whoever is under me in the material world, all the living entities, I will make them also eat all the Mahaprasad of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As soon as these words came out of from Goddess Parvati, Lord Vishnu immediately appeared in Kailash. And when he came in Kailash, he said, hey, Kalyani, what did you say? Why did you say like this? Now, this, secret Mahaprasad is going to come to everyone. And Parvati said, well, I said it. Now you fulfill it. It is your job to fulfill whatever your devotees say. So then Lord Narayan smiled and he said that when I come in my form as Lord Jagannath, at that time, whatever prasad, whatever bhoga I will accept, the remnants of that will first go to you as Vimala Devi. And then after it goes to you, it will become Mahaprasad, and that Mahaprasad will be distributed to everyone. So that way your word will be fulfilled. So till today, from Lord Jagannath's temple, the prasad is first taken to Bimala Devi's temple. which is in the courtyard of Lord Jagannath's temple. And she is offered the prasad, and then the Mahaprasad is distributed for everyone. Jai Shiva Shambhu Mahadev ki jai, Shri Katyayani Devi ki jai, Narad Muni ki jai. So this is the glory of Mahaprasad, which by Jagannath and by the mercy of Parvati Devi, we are able to access.
Right, next slide, please. So now we will see how Shri Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra Maharani, how they received this form. Many people, when they see, they are not able to understand this form. Why are the eyes so big? And why are they always smiling so much? And why we are not able to perceive their hands and legs? What is this form? How did this appear? How did this form appear? These forms are none other than Krishna, his brother Baladev, and their sister Subhadra Devi ki jai. And how did this wonderful, ancient, beautiful temple of Lord Jagannath came to be? So we will listen to that pastime. Next slide, please. So once there was a king. His name was King Indradyumna. He was a great devotee of Lord Vishnu. He was very, very eager. He wanted to meet Krishna face to face. So one time, by the arrangement of the Lord, a devotee arrived at the court of King Indradyumna. And in the course of discussion, he began to talk about an incarnation of Lord Vishnu named Nila Madhava. So we can see here the devotee is telling the king about Nila Madhava. And after hearing these different topics, King Indradyumna, he became very inspired. What? Nila Madhava? Please go out. I want to send all the Brahmanas in different directions and go and search for, inquire about this Lord Nila Madhava. I'm so attracted. Next slide, please. But all of them, they were very much disappointed. They were unsuccessful. They returned to the capital, and except for one priest named Vidyapati, and and that brought hope to King Indradyumna. Everyone has returned. Vidyapati has not returned. So maybe he has found something. Anyway, when we go to Vidyapati, after wandering in so many different places, Vidyapati, he finally came to this district. The population of this district was of non-Aryans. They were called Shabara. And there he stayed in the house of a local named Vishwavasu. Next slide, please. And when he arrived there, Vidyapati, when he arrived, the master of the house was not there. Vishwavasu was not there, but his young daughter, Lalita, he was there alone. And after some time, Vishwavasu, the master of the house, returned, and he instructed his daughter, this is the priest of the king. Give him all hospitality and take care of this Brahmana guest. So for some time, Vidyapati stayed there, and later, by the special request of Vishwavasu, the Shabara king, he married the daughter, Shabara's young daughter, Lalita. So Vidyapati, he lived in the house of the Shabara. He would go out and search for this deity of Nila Madhava. He would not tell anyone why he is here. But he noticed some peculiarity in King Vishwavasu's behavior, this Shabara king's behavior. Every night, this Shabara king, he would go out, and on the next day around noon, he would return. And when he would return, his body would be full of scent. The whole house would get filled with scent and fragrances, camphor, musk, sandalwood. And so Vidyapati inquired from his wife Lalita, from the daughter of King Shabara, what is the reason for this? Why does he go in the night, come back in the morning, and in this way, he's smelling so nice? So first Lalita hesitated, but then she said, well, I'll tell you on a condition that you'll keep it very confidential. This is the secret of our family. He said, yeah, of course I will. Then she informed her father she would go out to a secret place and worship Sri Neela Madhava. So after that day, Vidyapati was so happy. Neela Madhava, this is who I'm searching for. And then Lalita, she had been ordered by her father, don't tell anyone about Sri Neela Madhava, but she overstepped that order, told her husband after all. Vidyapati immediately became eager. I have to see Sri Neela Madhava. Finally, one day, because he was requesting every day. Next slide, please. Every day he would request, Lalita, please take me, Neela Madhava. I would love to see that. So because of the repeated request of his daughter, the Shabara king Vishwavasu said, all right, Vidyapati, I will take you. First of all, you, Lalita Devi, you should not have told him. But now that he wants to, I will take him blindfolded. And so he said, okay, Shabara, he bound his eyes, took him to Sri Neela Madhava. As they were leaving, Vidyapati's wife secretly put some mustard seeds in the cloth of Vidyapati, so that while passing, he would keep the mustard cloth. She would he can put the mustard seeds, and later the mustard seeds would grow, and later he can then trace the path. Something like Hansel and Gretel, but this is the origin. Hansel and Gretel came very late. So then, when they reached Sri Neela Madhava, the Shabara, he removed the blindfold, and Vidyapati, he saw this unprecedented beauty of this deity of Sri Neela Madhava. Next slide, please. And just having the darshan of Sri Neela Madhava, he began to dance in ecstasy, started offering prayers. This is the temple of Sri Neela Madhava today. Sri Neela Madhava ki jai. Next slide, please. This is the stairs to go to the temple of Sri Neela Madhava, which is still present today. Next slide. And this is the famous, wonderful, beautiful deity of Sri Neela Madhava ki jai. And then this Vidyapati, he personally witnessed this deity was actually in the middle of a jungle. Even when we now have to go to this temple, we have to pass through several forests, but there is a road there now. But yeah, there's a lot of greenery around. Then Vidyapati, he offered his prayers, and then Shabara kept him near the deity and went out to collect fruits and roots and forest flowers so he can continue the worship. While the Shabara was out, Vidyapati witnessed something astounding. Next slide, please. He saw that a sleeping crow, he fell off the branch of a tree. Next slide, please. This crow, as you can see, this in the temple of Neela Madhava, this pastime is actually engraved. This is in the temple of Neela Madhava. You can see on the right hand side, there is a crow. And this crow just fell. A crow was sleeping, fell off the branch, and he fell into a nearby lake. And then he drowned. Immediately, right in front of the eyes of Vidyapati, he took a four-armed Vaikuntha form and he started to go back up to the spiritual sky. As you can see, this is the crow. He has wings, but he has four arms as well. And he started ascending. And seeing this, Vidyapati, he was like, what? This is so wonderful. I can also do that. He started climbing up the tree and he was about to jump into the lake. Like, I will be liberated right now. If the crow can be liberated, so can he. But as he was about to jump, A voice from the sky said, "Oh Brahmana, since you have been able to see Sri Nilamadhava, you should go and inform King Indradyumna." So the Brahmana said, "Yes, yes, that was my whole purpose why I came here." So he climbed down the tree and then he went. This is how the Lord reciprocates with the eagerness of a devotee. King Indradyumna was not here, but somehow the Lord arranged for Vidyapati to see Sri Nilamadhava, and then he arranged. King Indradyumna was so eager to listen, to see, have darshan, that Sri Nilamadhava himself arranged for his darshan. This is how we should be eager. Then Krishna will come, he will reveal himself. We don't have to worry about, we don't have to go anywhere looking for him. We just have to be eager, very eager. I want you, Krishna, I'm yours. Please help me. And then, so the Brahmana, the Vidyapati, he climbed down the tree, he waited there, and suddenly, after some time, sorry, not suddenly, Shabara king Vishwavasu, he returned. He was carrying some forest flowers, some roots, and then he started his daily worship of Lord Nilamadhava. As he was being engaged in the service of Sri Nilamadhava, Vidyapati, he was looking in awe and respect. And then after some time, he actually saw some of the demigods also, the Devatas, descending and performing arti to Nilamadhava in this secret place in the forest. This Vidyapati immediately said, "I have to go back to King Indradyumna," and informed him. So he went back. When he came back with Vidyapati, then he went to King Indradyumna and he said, "You know what? I found him, Sri Nilamadhava. He is in the Shabara country." So then the king, he was in great ecstasy. Hari bol. He went forth. So many people, he went to bring back Sri Nilamadhava. And from the mustard seeds that he was throwing along the path, the Vidyapati, remember, he was throwing the different mustard seeds, they had grown. And king and Vidyapati, they followed these plants and able to trace the path to Sri Nilamadhava. Alas, when they reached that spot, they could not find Nilamadhava. Not being able to see this form, King Indradyumna, he said, "I have to meet this king of Shabara." He went to the king of Shabara, Vishwavasu. He said, "Arrest him and ask him to tell me, where is Nilamadhava? Where is the beautiful Sri Nilamadhava?" But then again, a voice from the sky came and said to the king, "Release this Shabara, O king, on top of the Nila hill. Construct a temple for me. There I will appear as Daru Brahman, which means the Lord in the form of a log of wood. Daru is wood, Brahman is the Supreme Personality. And in the form of the wood, I will appear. Brahman is absolute truth. Absolute truth in a wooden form is Daru Brahman. And then you will see me, but you will not be able to see me as Sri Nilamadhava, but you will see me as Daru Brahman." So then when he heard this, King Indradyumna, he immediately released the king of Shabara, and then he went to the top of the Nila hill. He said, "We have to make arrangements to build this temple." And he said, he made arrangements to bring like a stone from a place. There was a place called Baulamala. And he has to bring those stones to make the temple. He had to build that stone because in those times, the temples were made of stone, not fiberglass or not any of the materials artificial that we may use today. So that stone, that huge stone, had to be transported from a very famous place called Baulamala to this Nila hill, Nila Kandara hill. And so he built a road just for that stone. And no one could use that road except that stone would be pushed and rolled by several servants to bring it to this Nilakandara hill. So, as we said, Purushottam Kshetra Jagannath Puri is in the form of a shankha, conch shell. And in the navel of the conch shell, the king established a town which was called Ramakrishnapura. And that town was established just for the temple. Earlier, the temple, all the communities used to be around the temple. So the temple extended 60 cubits beneath the earth and 120 cubits above. And at the top, there was a kalash, like a round pinnacle. And on top of that kalash was a chakra. And he also had all this temple decorated with the golden ornamentation. Then Indradyumna Maharaj, he prayed to Lord Brahma that please inaugurate this temple and the surrounding area known as Shri Kshetra. This Shri Kshetra gives the highest type of liberation. This is how the Jagannath temple was built, with one single stone coming from Baulamala to Ramakrishnapura and in the Nila Hill. Then King Indradyumna, he became a bit discouraged, disappointed that I did not have the darshan of Sri Nila Madhava. He said, what is the use of my life if I could not have the darshan of Nila Madhava? So he lay down on kusha grass and he was determined. He wanted to give up his life. He wanted to give up his life by fasting. And as he was about to give up his life, Lord Jagannath, he spoke to him in dream. Don't be anxious, dear king. I will come. I will come to you. Remember, the voice from the sky said, Daru Brahma, you will have. I will come to you floating in from the sea in my wooden form as Daru Brahma. Can we go to the next slide, please? So this is, if you see behind on the on the right-hand side is the steps, is the courtyard of the temple. And on the left-hand side, behind you can see the ocean. Daru Brahma came from that ocean. Next slide, please. Here also you can see, if you see straight down, at the back, behind the trees, you can see a blue ocean. This is the exact place where Daru Brahma came, where the wooden logs came. So, came floating in from the sea. Jai Shri Daru Brahma ki Jai. So then to carve this deity of Lord Jagannath, there was just big logs. It was so difficult to lift these logs, so heavy. King Indradyumna, he called many expert sculptors, but none of them were able to touch the Daru Brahman. Because as soon as they started to chisel, to make the Daru Brahman, to make the deity of Nila Madhava out of that Daru Brahman, their chisel would just break and break into pieces. Then the Supreme Lord himself came. Some scriptures say Supreme Lord came, according to Narada Purana in Uttarakhanda. But some say that the Vishwakarma, who is the architect of the demigods, he came. But anyway, there was an old Brahmana who came. Next slide, please. And this old Brahmana came to carve the deity. Some say he is Vishwakarma incarnation. Some say he is the incarnation of the Lord himself. But he said that if I can chisel and make the deity, but only if I am allowed to work behind closed doors for 21 days. In 21 days, I will make the deity, carve the deity, and when the log was brought, he was able to chisel, but he said, I want it behind closed doors. Even you, my dear king, Indradyumna, you will not be able to see what is happening. So anyway, all the old sculptors' directions, all the artists, they were engaged in making the 3 chariots.
So then it is said that Maharaj Indradyumna, he of course agreed to this old Brahmana's, condition. And he said, yes, And in fact, the deities were carved in the palace of his queen, Maharaj Indradyumna's queen, whose name is Gundicha. You see the queen with Maharaj Indradyumna, her name is Gundicha. And in her palace, in her room, the deities were getting carved. So then from outside Maharaj Indradyumna, just imagine, he is in so much anxiety to see his beloved Lord. But 21 days, the Brahmana said, no one can enter the room. And he started carving. And Maharaj Indradyumna was patiently just sitting outside the room, and he was listening. That tick, 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 tick. This kind of sound was coming. And Indradyumna Maharaj, when he was hearing this sound, tick, 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 like that, he was saying that, oh, my Lord is getting carved. My Lord is getting carved. And his heartbeat was able to match that sound of the chisel, it is said. So much with anxiety, Indradyumna Maharaj was waiting. But just 14 days passed. And when the 14 days passed, one very odd incident happened. That Maharaj Indradyumna, who was sitting outside in great anxiety, he stopped listening to the voice of the tools of the artist. He just stopped, no voice coming out, no tuk 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 sound, nothing. So then Indradyumna Maharaj said, Ari, this was an old Brahmana. He's not eaten anything for 14 days. How is he surviving? There's nothing. Probably he's fainted. What could have happened to him? And not being able to contain his anxiety, Indradyumna Maharaj then opened the door. Next slide, please. When Maharaj Indradyumna opened the door, he saw this most glorious form of Sri Jagannath, Balabhadra and Subhadra. Jai. So then Maharaj Indradyumna, he saw this beautiful form of, Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, but he didn't see the sculptor there. The old Brahmana was not there. And he was feeling so, disappointed that why did I open the door? Look, the Lord doesn't have his hands. The Lord doesn't have his lotus feet. I left it unfinished. The carver disappeared from here. What have I done? He was cursing himself that what have I done? What have I done? And then Indradyumna Maharaj, he said, I have to give up my body. I have done such great offense that I've not allowed the Lord to manifest fully. There were some more days remaining. Why did I not be patient? And then Indradyumna Maharaj, he just said, I'm going to fast to death. I'm just going to give up my body. How could I be so restless and so impatient? As soon as he sat down to give up his body, again Lord Jagannath spoke. Lord Jagannath said that, my dear King Indradyumna, this is our Daru Brahma form. That this is our form of Krishna himself. This is how we are eternally manifested. And you are so blessed that through you, because of you, we have manifested in this way. So please do not feel that this form of ours are not complete. So the deity said, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra said that we are eternally residing here in this Nilachal Dham, as Lord Jagannath. Because Lord Jagannath explained that I actually don't have material hands or material feet. I do have them and I will manifest them for you also. But this is my actual form. So you should not feel anything otherwise. Because it is said that, Jagannath quotes the Shvetashvara Upanishad. And he says that in the Shvetashvara Upanishad, in the 3rd chapter, in text 19, it is said that without legs and hands, the Lord moves and accepts. Without eyes, he sees. Without ears, he can hear. So if I can do all that, I have come here to prove that without hands and legs, I am still the supreme absolute truth. So therefore, you should not be disheartened at all. So hearing these words of Lord Jagannath, the king became satisfied and made some prayers to Lord Jagannath. So one of the prayers that Lord Indradyumna Maharaj, he actually asked for a few benedictions from the Lord. First, Indradyumna Maharaj said that, my dear Lord, kindly give me one boon, that let the doors of your temple be closed only for 3 to 4 hours, not more than that, because I want that everyone should come and take darshan of your most astonishing form of Lord Jagannath. So this is the only temple in the whole world that Jagannath doesn't, the deities don't have any sleeping time. The temple doors can close even at 12 o'clock sometimes in the midnight, 1 o'clock in the midnight, and they again open back by 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the morning. No fixed timing. When the Lord feels like it, he goes to rest. But he closes entire day. Even in the afternoon, the Lord doesn't take a nap. The doors don't close to the temple. Darshan is open all throughout the day. The Lord only sleeps for 3 to 4 hours when the temple is actually closed. This was the first benediction that Indradyumna Maharaj asked. So Lord Jagannath said, Tathastu, so be it. We grant it. What is your second desire? The second desire, Indradyumna Maharaj said, that, my dear Lord, you wanted some opulent worship. So I want to give you some opulent worship, and that may you go on eating throughout the day, and that your lotus fingers, after you eat, before they dry, after you wash your hands after eating one meal, before your fingers dry, your next meal should come. So you should eat throughout the day. Lord Jagannath said, yes, of course, done. Tathastu, so be it. And then the Lord Jagannath, he asked, what is your third desire? Then Indradyumna Maharaj asked something very, very intimate and personal. He said, so that no one in the future claims proprietorship over you or your temple, please make this desire of mine fulfilled, that may I have no descendants. Kindly give me this benediction. Just look at the selfless attitude of Indradyumna Maharaj, that he said that he doesn't want to claim proprietorship over Lord Jagannath and his temple. And he said that you are Jagannath, you are the Lord of the universe. So therefore, let all my descendants be finished. I don't want any of my descendants to claim proprietorship on you. So I don't want any descendants. So this is how the Lord said, yes, I fulfill it. No problem at all. So this is how Lord Jagannath manifested here in Sri Jagannath Puri Dham. Can we have the next slide, please?
So then the merciful Lord Jagannath, Subhadra, Baladev, they appeared in this material world to benefit all the living beings. And what is the benefit that they bestowed? This is in Narada Puran Uttarkhanda. Pratimam tatratam drishtva swayam devena nirmitam anayasena vayanti bhavanam metato nara. The Supreme Lord Narayan, he tells Lakshmi Devi this particular verse, in that great abode, which is known as Purushottam Kshetra, which is rarely achieved among all the three worlds. The Keshava deity, who was fashioned by the Supreme Lord himself, is situated. If men simply see this deity, if human being, anyone, simply sees that deity, they're easily able to come to my abode.
Jai
Jai
Jagannath.
Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra Maharani ki jai,
Jai.
Jagannath ki jai. So in this way, Lord Jagannath is delivering the whole universe, especially as he rides on his cart before everyone's eyes. This is the only deity who comes out for the Rath Yatra. In all other temples, it's the Utsav Murti which comes out. The main deity, if you see, they are always in the temple. the Utsav Murti comes out and there is a Brahmotsava festival. And they go out, the small Utsav Murtis. But here, the actual Jagannath deity comes out without discrimination for any religion, culture, caste, creed. Everyone can take this beautiful darshan and go back home, back to Godhead, be liberated to his abodes.
Yeah.
So tomorrow we will actually understand how is this form eternal? It looks like unfinished form, and King Indradumna, it was unfinished. How is it an eternal form of the Lord? How did Krishna's form is like this? The form of Purushottama comes out, seems unfinished. We'll hear that, and we'll hear wonderful pastimes of the Jagannath Puri temple, the 7 miracles of the Jagannath Puri temple. So stay tuned. Join tomorrow. Next slide, please.
So this is Maharaj Indradyumna serving Lord Sri Jagannath along with the Shabaras and, who are carrying Lord Jagannath. So this is how so beautifully Lord Jagannath just comes out to be with his devotees. So we will continue our katha again from tomorrow of Lord Jagannath Swami. And can we just have the next slide? That's the last slide, which is of Shankha Kshetra Shri Jagannath Swami Ki Jai. So if there's any questions, comments, or reflections, we can take that now. Thank you very much. Jai Jagannath.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji and Prabhuji. Mataji, the Jagannath picture was there, and other one is there. It's falling in the water, and we can see the lotus feet. What is that, Mataji?
Like Lord Jagannath said, that Jagannath doesn't have material hands and material lotus feet. But Lord Jagannath said that my lotus feet and lotus hands can be manifested through ornaments, the Lord said to Indradyumna Maharaj, on special festival days. So, on festival days, especially the day of Rath Yatra, Lord Jagannath wears golden lotus feet that we saw, and he also has golden lotus hands holding the shankha and the chakra. So he is, manifested in that form for very, very special occasions.
Mataji, can I see that picture again, please? If you
Yes.
Yes.
Can we please have that picture again of that
Thank
slide?
you. Wonderful class, Mataji and Prabhuji. Very nice explanation. I heard these stories, but when I hear again from you, both of you, it's so glorious.
Jai Jagannath Swami. Jai.
Very wonderful darshan, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
All right. Any other question?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol Kirti.
Hare Krishna, Mataji and Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Guru and Gauranga. I have a question, Mataji. First of all, I really like the session today. And my question is, so I think a few sessions ago, we talked about Rajapur Jagannath, and I think that Rajapur Jagannath was first in Puri, but then they moved them to Rajapur Jagannath. So was Rajapur Jagannath the first Puri Jagannath? Because I think I heard I think a week ago that Rajapur Jagannath was actually in Puri before he came to Rajapur. Is Rajapur Jagannath actually a Puri Jagannath before he came to Rajapur?
So what happened is, like we had explained when we talked in Simantadweep, we had explained this past time that in the 6th century, there was a king Raktabahu who had attacked Orissa, and because he was destroying temples and the deities there, so the Pandas, they had, under the instructions of Lord Jagannath, they had carried Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, and they came to this place called Rajapur. And when they came here, they served Lord Jagannath here for a few years. And when the king's atrocities subsided, the Shabaras, they brought the deities back to Jagannath Puri. So the original Jagannath Puri deities, they came back to Jagannath Puri. But Lord Jagannath, he loved, he loved this place of Rajapur. He was very attached to this place of Rajapur. So it is said that just 500 years ago, Lord Jagannath again re-manifested here through this devotee called as Jagadish Ganguly, who was a very, very dear devotee of Lord Chaitanya and would go to Rath Yatra every year. And, 1 year he couldn't go because he was very sick and he got blind. So then that day in the night, Lord Jagannath appeared to him in a dream and said that, we love this place. So therefore now you are giving us an excuse to come back to this place. So tomorrow morning, when you take a dip in the Ganga, our log form, the wooden form of us will come in the Ganga, and you bring this log and make deities of Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, carve them and worship them here. So the Rajapur deities that we see today is actually what was carved by Jagadish Ganguly 500 years ago. Okay.
I have a little follow-up question. This is my last question, Mataji.
Okay.
So I think that I also heard a week ago that they switch Jagannaths out every 15 years. I think they put new Jagannaths in, and
Yes.
they bury the old one.
Yes.
Is there a particular reason why they do that? Why can't they keep the same Jagannath for the whole lifetime?
Very good question. Well, Rajapur Jagannath is for the whole lifetime. They have not changed. 500 years, they have not changed at all. And why? Lord Jagannath has this festival is called Navakalevara. So we are going to listen to this on day 3 of our Parikrama. So little patience, Kirti, okay? We are going to tell you the entire pastime of Navakalevara. How and why does Lord Jagannath have to change his Daru Brahma form? Okay?
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
There's a question: in which part of India the Neelamadhava temple exists? It's in Orissa. It's maybe 3-4 hours drive from Jagannath Puri.
It is in a remote village, going, from Jagannath Puri. 3-4 hours drive. Very, very remote village.
Right. Any other questions or comments? How many days will we hear about the Puri Parikrama?
Well, we hope that it will be for maybe the next 14 to 15 days. That's what we are hoping. So give or take a few days here and there. So, but probably for the next 13 to 14 days.
All right. Any other? Okay, there is a question. I've heard a pastime of the Sudarshan Chakra along with the 3 deities of Sri Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra. Please enlighten.
There are many pastimes with Sudarshan Chakra and Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, but we will be sharing many pastimes in our future sessions. So please be stay tuned and listen. Hare Krishna.
Is the form of Lord Jagannath and Neelamadhav the same? They are the same, but the form is not the same. Like Jagannath's form is very unique, big eyes and like that. Neelamadhava's deity that we saw, his form is like Krishna. And it seems in his darshan, I've always seen a bigger nose.
He's very cute. He's two-handed form.
But they are the same personality, Jagannath and Neelamadhava, but in different moods.
Yeah.
That's why different forms. And tomorrow we'll understand what is the mood of Lord Jagannath, why he has such big eyes. So stay tuned.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Neelamadhava, when you go to Jagannath Puri next time, reserve a trip to Sri Neelamadhava temple. You saw some pictures where all of us, myself, Kalasudha, her parents had gone. And it was a beautiful trip, beautiful, wonderful. Even the journey is so blissful. Make sure you don't doze off because it'll be tempting. But you will see nice scenery. You can chant, and then, but be very eager to see Sri Nila Madhava. And Nila Madhava will then reciprocate with your eagerness, just like he reciprocated with the eagerness of King Indradumna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Garima, 1 minute, bacha. Yes, Hare Krishna, Mataji. Who is this?
I'm Soumya Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Soumya.
Mataji, why did Neelamadhava disappear to King Mataji? His wishes to give darshan to King and he sent the Brahmana Mataji. Then why did he disappear, Mataji, again?
Yes, he disappeared because, Nila Madhava wanted to come in this most merciful form of Lord Jagannath. You see, in the form of Lord Jagannath, Nila Madhava actually is, he resides when he was being worshipped by the Shabara king. It is explained in the Utkal Khanda, which we didn't share today, but it is explained in the Utkal Khanda of the Padma Purana. It is explained that it is actually Nila Madhava himself. It was Nila Madhava himself, not even a deity. Is Nila Madhava himself who was there. And, that's why Prabhu said that how the Devatas would come and worship. And Vishwavasu, the Shabara, would worship Nila Madhava, very humble kind of worship he would do. And the reason he would smell, Vishwavasu would smell so wonderful is because, these Devatas would come and with fragrances from the heavenly planets, they would worship Nila Madhava, So when Nila Madhava disappeared, so Nila Madhava as a person, he could not manifest in front of the eyes of the entire world. So therefore he manifested through this beautiful form of Lord Jagannath, who is non-different from Nila Madhava. So it's a form that every one of us can actually see. So Nila Madhava's form, not everyone has eyes to see. But Lord Jagannath gives us the vision by which, even with our mundane eyes, we can see Lord Jagannath. So that is the reason that is explained.
Also, he wanted to increase the desperation and eagerness of King Indradumna to see him, to have his vision. But he reciprocated by giving him service. When we want to see Krishna, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, don't try to see Krishna, try to serve Krishna in such a way that Krishna wants to see you. And so Nila Madhava, he arranged in such a way that his desire to serve will increase. And look at King Indradumna. When so much he wanted to see Nila Madhava, and Nila Madhava disappeared and asked him, instead, you do this service, build this temple. King Indradumna didn't say, oh, come on. I asked you, I was so eager to listen to you, hear you, see you, and you do this to me. I have no faith in you. I have no faith in you left now. And I have now no need. I'm not. Now you're telling me to build the temple. If you would have at least given me darshan, I would have built. But this is his humility, and patience and enthusiasm, that I will serve. We don't have to see Krishna. We need to serve Krishna in a way that Krishna sees us, and then he revealed himself in the most beautiful, munificent form as Jagannath Baldev Subhadra. Through who? Through King Indradumna. Lord Jagannath has eternally now glorified King Indradumna in this way.
So there's a question by Bhargavi and also a question privately that why, if Nila Madhava disappeared, then the temple that we see now, the deity that we see now, when did he appear? He appeared also when, Maharaj Indradumna was building the stone temple of Jagannath Puri. The Pandas in Nila Madhava temple, they say that this deity also came along the time when the logs floated into that place, remember? That time, this deity of Nila Madhava also floated in along with the logs. This is the way that the pujaris there, that's what they explain, that Nila Madhava, the deity form, came along with the Daru Brahma of Lord Jagannath. So hope that answers your questions.
There is a wonderful comment here by Kalanidhi Prabhu. The Lord gives service when he's pleased with his devotee. Correct. If we want to know if the Lord is pleased with us, we should see if he is giving service or not.
Yes.
Keshavi Mataji, Venkatesh Prabhu, you may have a question. Your hand is raised.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Mataji and Prabhuji, please accept humble obeisances. Wonderful narration and bringing Jagannath pastimes in front of our eyes is very, very pleasing to us, Mataji. One question I have, can you let us know when the Jagannath pastime, which yuga did it happen? Is it supposed to be Kali Yuga before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came? Can you tell us the timeline of the appearance of Lord Jagannath?
Yes, sure. Actually, it is said that the temple was constructed by Maharaj Indradyumna in Satya Yuga. And then he went to Lord Brahma's abode. And by the time he came back, Kali Yuga was just starting. So this is what it is said. Lord Jagannath's temple is eternal, but some of the Shastras, they say like this, that Indradyumna Maharaj was in Brahma's abode. He was waiting for Lord Brahma because he wanted Lord Brahma to inaugurate the temple. So he went to Lord Brahma's abode, and then many generations passed by. In fact, the temple was swallowed by the ocean for some time, was gone under the sand for some time. Many histories happened. And then after that, it is said when Maharaj Indradyumna came back, then Lord Jagannath, in the beginning of Kali Yuga, he came as the Daru Brahma form. But the temple is from Satya Yuga, they say.
Thank you, Mataji and Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Garima.
Oh, Garima. Yes, Bacha Garima, yes.
Yeah. I have Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra. So how can we please them?
Gaur-Nitai, can be pleased.
It is said that for Radha Krishna, if we serve Radha Krishna and we commit an offense, immediately we get a reaction. Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, if we serve them, if we commit an offense, 4 out of 5 times they will forgive. 5th time they will take offense. And Gaur-Nitai, if we serve them, then 5 out of 5 times they will forgive us. And all Gaur-Nitai deities need is to just chant Hare Krishna in front of them. For Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, Maharani, nice prasad, nice bhoga. Bhoga is what is very dear to Lord Jagannath, and his Mahaprasad is very famous. So that is the way. But in general, if you just chant and show some love to Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, then that is very pleasing to them. So chant in front of them.
And also just give him as much as bhoga as you can. He loves to eat. So Lord Jagannath, the way to serve Lord Jagannath is just by giving him unlimited supply of bhoga. If you give that, Lord Jagannath is very happy.
I have another question. Indradyumna, you were telling the story, Indradyumna, the old man came, the Brahman came and he was curving the deity. So when Indradyumna opened the door, why the Brahmana was not there?
Because he had finished his job. He had completed his job.
And he had also said that if you open the door, I will disappear. I will go away. So he was actually, some say the Lord himself, or some say that he was the Vishwakarma. So he immediately disappeared. But this was arranged by the Lord himself, that Indradyumna Maharaj will open the deities before 14 days, so that these deities look unfinished, but they are unfinished in a way which we will reveal tomorrow. Why they look unfinished like this? What is this unfinished form of Krishna? How is it related to Krishna's pastime? So just be patient. Tomorrow we will tell you why this remained unfinished. But the reason the Brahmana disappeared, which is your question, is because King Indradumna opened the door, and that's what he had said. I want to work with closed doors. If you open it, I will go away.
And actually, his job was done. He had actually completed already carving the deities, because this is the complete form of the Lord. So therefore, Lord Jagannath, his deities were carved. So the Brahmana disappeared.
But he said that for 21 days I'll be working, so it's been already 14 days.
Yeah, he finished his job in 14 days. What to do? He tricked the king. Okay?
Okay.
Haribol. So we have a question from Santoshi Kumari Mataji, that I heard from my elders say that Nila Madhava has disappeared after Lord Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra deities were formed. I'm not sure. Is this Nila Madhava deity the same one? Can you clear this doubt?
Yes, it is the same Nila Madhava deity, but Nila Madhava deity disappeared before Lord Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra came. And after disappearing, Nila Madhava said, this Daru Brahma will come. So then Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra deities, Maharani's deities were made. But along with Daru Brahma, Nila Madhava also came
In his
deity form. So Nila Madhava temple was formed at that time, along with Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra Maharani.
I hope that clears your doubt. Any pastime story behind Vishwavasu and Nila Madhava? Why he told his daughter not to tell anyone? Why he wanted to keep secrets?
Because it was a family secret. It was a family deity, because this deity was so famous, and famous meaning, sorry, it was so beautiful. And they didn't want that the word should go out and then everyone will come, just like the word got out a little bit that this deity exists. And King Indradumna immediately sent everyone, go out and search, where is this deity, this beautiful deity. So they didn't want that. They didn't want that if they make it public, then everyone would want to come. And then from the Shabara village, that deity will be taken away somewhere else. And so the Shabaras, it was a family secret, like a whole village secret, which only the king of Shabara from generations, they used to keep worshipping Nila Madhava in this village. And they did not want anyone to know. But the word got out that such a beautiful deity exists. And King Indradumna then tried to find it. Imagine if all the kings came to know that this deity exists here, they would have immediately come and invaded the village and arrested the king of the Vishwavasu and taken the deity by force or something like that. So they wanted to avoid all that controversy and said, keep it zipped.
And of course, like we said also that, yes, some say that it was deity before, but some say he was Krishna himself being worshipped in the Niladri hills like this. And that's why the Devatas would come and worship him directly. So, this is how it is said that that's why it was very, very secretive. That's why it was not leaked out. So
why is the sweet in Jagannath temple?
It's not mostly sweet. Jagannath, yes, he loves khaja. He loves, these sweet items. Actually, Balabhadra is the one with the sweet tooth. It is said that he loves malpua, and, Baladev's malpua, he eats every day. Baladev eats malpua, which are made like doshas, like dosas, thin, like crispy, nice dosas, round, big ones, and he dips it in rabdi and he takes that. So this is Baladev's Malpua Rabdi Mahaprasad you get in Puri. But Jagannath's Mahaprasad is so famous. Rice, dal, sabji. So much Mahaprasad is there. And there is salty, preparations also. But yes, there are sweet preparations also, but there are lots and lots of salty preparations. Lord Jagannath eats karela, he eats, bitter chutneys, he eats all kinds of tasty, wonderful prasadam. Bhoga, I mean. So he eats all of that. Okay, any more questions?
Will you also explain tomorrow how Neelamadhava was there in long yogas in Nilgiri mountain? Neelamadhava, I mean, that is already explained. This is how it is. He was there for a long time. Krishna came to this world with his associates. When Jagannath appeared, did Radharani come? Which form? Well, when Jagannath came, he came with his associates, Baladev and Subhadra Devi. And we will understand how this form was there, Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, and why specifically Radharani is not there in this form, but she's there in the mood. And we'll understand tomorrow how in the mood, why Jagannath is smiling, why Jagannath's eyes are big. A big reason about it is related to Vrindavan Dham, related to Radharani.
And also it is said that Srimati Radharani is present, because wherever Krishna is, Srimati Radharani is always there, like Prabhu said, in the form of her, Lord Jagannath's mood. And also there is Lakshmi Devi who is present along with Lord Jagannath. So there is a small golden deity of Lakshmi Devi who sits next to Lord Jagannath, on the altar. So she is also there, Lakshmi Devi manifested along with Lord Jagannath. So yeah, she's also there. Okay, so I think there's another hand raised by Venkatapati Prabhu and Keshavi.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Last question for the day from my side. Mataji, in Jagannath Puri, we see that the pandas actually handle all the temple rituals. So when we were there a few years ago, this was for first visit for us. So we saw that the pandas' behavior looked very, to some point, materialistic, in the sense that they were kind of, banging probably to for Lakshmi, things like that. So my question is, when we see any new devotees going there and they see this kind of behavior, they would be looking for a materialistic viewpoint, and so they may really get offended. So is that how the behavior has been all the time from the Pandavas in the previous times, or is it just the effect of Kali Yuga? Hare Krishna.
We should not comment anything about the pandas. The pandas are extremely dear to Lord Jagannath. Srila Prabhupada said that whatever the pandas are doing, if we comment anything about the pandas, then Lord Jagannath takes it very personally. So please let us be very, very careful. For our devotional service, we must just neglect and worship them. Just do this to the pandas and carry on. That's all. Do not comment anything about the pandas. It's very, very detrimental to our spiritual life.
Also, if you can reserve a panda before, in advance, and if you go there with a panda, then other pandas don't come. That if you are, and it's good to have one panda along with us, and in that way we will not be sometimes that we feel we will not commit offenses.
And yes, and we have dedicated pandas, who help ISKCON devotees. So yeah, we should go with protection and not commit offenses.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Thank you for letting us know how we need to behave ourselves in the temple and in the pandas.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maji and Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
This is Jamuna Das Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Jamuna.
Mataji, Prabhuji. हरे कृष्ण माता जी मेरा एक क्वेश्चन है यहाँ मैंने सुना है कि जगन्नाथ जी के दर्शन तभी पूरे होते हैं जब हम साक्षी गोपाल के दर्शन पूरे करते हैं, मतलब ये सही है या मतलब आई मीन इज इट ट्रू माता जी?
Sakshi Gopal, it is said that Sakshi Gopal, as the name says, that Sakshi Gopal is giving witness. वो साक्षी देते हैं. So he gives witness to our darshan of Lord Jagannath. So he keeps account that whenever we go to see Lord Jagannath, if we go and see Lord Sakshi Gopal, it's like giving haziri to him, ki yes, yes, we have given and seen Lord Jagannath, and Sakshi Gopal keeps an account of that. He witnesses that. So that is why we will talk about that also. We'll talk about Alarnath, we'll talk about Sakshi Gopal. So we'll talk about all of these leelas.
Mataji, and one more thing, Mataji, I heard from local people here, like they said, in night time, मतलब सारे भगवान जी रोज जगन्नाथ जी के दर्शन के लिए सब लोग मिलके साथ में जाते हैं रात में. तो मुझे मिलके बहुत अच्छा लगा, मतलब सुन के जब यहाँ के लोग बताते हैं. तो सारे देवी देवता मिलके जाते हैं जगन्नाथपुरी के दर्शन करने, जगन्नाथ जी, बलदेव जी, सुभद्रा जी से मिलने के लिए. एंड माता जी बहुत अच्छा लगा आज का. मैं जगन्नाथपुरी मतलब भुवनेश्वर में रह रही हूँ, तो मुझे मैं फील कर सकती हूँ माता जी. मैं तो माता जी प्रसादम की तो फैन हूँ माता जी. दाल माँ चावल मैं फील कर सकती हूँ अभी भी. एंड माता जी मैंने एक रियलाइजेशन किया है कि जब भी मुझे इच्छा होती है प्रसाद खाने की, माता जी प्रसाद आ जाता है, क्योंकि मेरे सारे फ्रेंड लोकल है. देन दे गो, थोड़ा सा भी आता है लेकिन मैं उसको एकदम चाट के खाती हूँ. मैं मैं एक भी दाना नहीं छोड़ती हूँ. मतलब माता जी इतना बहुत ही यमी प्रसादम होता है माता जी. तो थैंक यू माता जी फॉर शेयरिंग. एंड माता जी हम लोग और भी चीजें हैं जो हम लोग को नहीं पता है अभी जगन्नाथपुरी के बारे में, तो हम सुनेंगे माता जी. थैंक यू माता जी.
Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Okay, so
there are no more questions. We can end here. And a lot of your questions will be answered in the coming sessions. So we will explain more and more details. And many of your questions will be answered then. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo
नमो नमः. शिला प्रभुपाद की जय.
Jai.
हरि बोल.